When looking at this map, you can really see how the water has come along to dismantle what used to be a larger land mass. Like on the Gold Coast, for example, what you see here is a large disruption of what used to be a larger land mass. And you can see around the Gold Coast the deterioration, just let me get in closer, of water. As you can see, this river has been formed as a part of land deterioration on the edge, and that as a result has caused a river to be able to be formed that flows all the way through Brisbane or Queensland. Same thing down here. Water inundation has formed all these islands and land deterioration, and the water's been able to form rivers, which is land deterioration in itself on the inland. But what Queensland looks like it used to be, it used to have a larger border of land. So once upon a time, it's expected that it didn't have all these islands because it used to be one landmass before water inundated the land and caused deterioration on landmass, which caused further land deterioration as the water inundated the land and formed rivers. And this goes further. Once upon a time, you would have expected this landmass to have come all the way out here. Instead, it's broken up now. And that would have formed a different kind of ridge and a larger Australia. And it's not secluded to Brisbane either. It comes all the way up here where you have all these little sort of island bits making this sort of vague outline. Australia, even at its peak, used to be wider. Used to come out a little bit more. And it's even expected that it may have joined here to Papua New Guinea, which has also had deterioration affect its land shape. Now when you look at the larger scale, Papua New Guinea could have formed a bridge to New Zealand. So you see New Zealand sitting alone down there, but then you see all these islands, and so it's expected that this could have been a large bridge once that went all the way down to New Zealand and formed an arc around Australia. And it goes further. Then New Zealand and then Papua New Guinea could have also been connected to all these little Indonesian countries that you have spread out, including the Philippines, and formed a bridge all the way to Sri Lanka and Thailand, and have all this landmass here connecting all the way into the Asian country, which has also experienced deterioration off this coastline here, and formed little other island inlets. And of course it goes further. It's not secluded to one hemisphere. All this would have once have been a landmass before it was inundated and crumbled. Even here would have been a landmass bridge before it crumbled as well. In the United States, you would have expected land joining from Venezuela to Mexico. It's missing a landmass there. And even on the coast of America, this would have been once an expanded landmass as well. And then you have all the Canada region. If this wasn't so broken with water inundation, this could have been connected to Greenland, which could have also been connected to Russia. As you can see, there's Russian land deterioration. Now this is mostly ice here, so it's expected that this land used to be an ice bridge. But as you can see, it's sort of, especially around this part, it could have connected the whole arc to Greenland from Russia. And all this sort of connected. There wouldn't be this. This is deteriorated land as well. So all this would have once been connected. All this would have once been connected. This would have been connected. This would have been connected. Sri Lanka would have been connected here. So it sort of destroys that theory that the world was joined in little bits. Rather, it could have been expanded into larger connections, and it's the inundation of water that has been deteriorating landmass over time. So rather than having bits of land on plates that have been tearing landmasses apart, it's expected that there was just a large expanse of landmass. And over time, water helped to deteriorate it until it formed islands and sand. And it would form different worlds. Even Tasmania down here would have formed the peak of Australia, or maybe even a little hump of this peak. That would have been a more developed area. Rather than having a split in it, they've had an arc. Now the Great Australian Bight is where there's been lots of large land deterioration, but there's no island to prove that it could have stretched too much farther. So it doesn't look like it could have stretched down here. But there's definitely land deterioration off the edge of the peak. It would have been a little bit larger, etc., etc. A larger world in past.